Tonight, we are talking Jurassic. I think I'm going to open up some toys. I've got a big stack of stuff here. We're going to hang out. I'm going to take your questions, and we're going to talk Jurassic. I am Brad Jost, and like I just said, this is Let's Talk Jurassic. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. We're here. It's another Wednesday night here in the Jurassic fandom, and we're going to be talking Jurassic for the next hour or so. So I'm glad to have you here. Welcome back, any returning viewers out there. If you're new, say hi. If you're lurking out there, also say hi or just hang out. It's good with me. Share this around. Let everybody know. I didn't really get a chance to share it around. So please do me a favor. Hit it up on all those social media platforms. Let everybody know that you're watching right now and that we're live. I have, again, last week we had no plan. All right. So I kind of liked the feel. It kind of worked pretty well. We actually got into some fun conversations about, I'm hitting the mic, about so many different random Jurassic topics. And what was it? Oh, we talked about which I titled the last video, Fixing the Jurassic World Trilogy. So I thought that was pretty cool. And we came to a lot of really fun conclusions about how do we fix the Jurassic World Trilogy if you think it needs fixing. We talked about that kind of thing. We talked about, I think we talked about chaos theory a little bit, didn't we? I don't remember. There was a lot of topics, but I want to do that same thing again tonight, but at the same time, like I said to you before, I have so many things to open up, different toys that I've just been thinking, you know what, maybe I'll save it for a video sometime and we'll just sit here, hang out, and open up some toys. But I want to do that while discussing some of the latest Jurassic topics. I know there's been a few things out there. There's been some casting speculation and some different rumors here and there, and whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm down to talk about that. But while we're getting ready here, let's go ahead and take a look at the website. Not much has changed. We got that same old episode from a few weeks back because guess what? I have not uploaded a new episode in the past 2 weeks. I'm taking it easy. All right, everybody, get off my back. I'm taking it easy because I know Jurassic's about to go off, right? We all know that, right? It's about to go off with a new movie, with video game stuff, with chaos theory stuff, with toy stuff. There's a lot that's gonna be happening in the near future. So I'm laying back for a little bit, taking it easy before the big rush. But if you missed out, if you didn't get a chance to check it out, we did do a great episode about Jurassic City. We talked a little bit about that and stuff. You can check that out on places like Spotify, where we've got 374 plus episodes. The 374 is just the numbered episodes. There's so many other episodes. And then please also go check out my other podcast, Grim Grinning Hosts, where we talk about theme parks, pop culture, other movies, other franchises, mostly theme park stuff. We talked all about Pandora, the world of Avatar potentially going to Disneyland. We talked about the new Star Tours update, which is actually coming up pretty soon. We talked about all the Halloween Horror Nights stuff. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that hopefully there's some Horror Nights stuff coming our way tomorrow. That's my hope, upon all hopes, that tomorrow we'll get some Horror Nights news. But you can maybe get a glimpse of that before that, even in this episode. And then also, I was on the Forcecast this past week or so. Whenever this was, we talked about Star Wars coming to film and stuff like that. We talked about some video game stuff. So go check out that episode. I was going to record a new episode with Ryan, but we got delayed. So we're going to record it, I think, this weekend sometime. So I'm excited to talk more Star Wars pretty soon. But I think that probably covers most of the stuff, right? Yeah, and you know what? Somebody did say Horror Nights. That was me. I did. I said it. I'm pretty sure I said Horror Nights, and I wanted to see more from Horror Nights hopefully tomorrow. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and hope that maybe we get some Horror Nights conversation tomorrow. I feel like, I don't know if it's like a typical thing, but a lot of times Horror Nights news to me feels like it starts happening in March. And maybe we'll get like, I don't know if like tickets, and stuff like that will end up going on sale, but like the potential is there. And knowing last year, I'm going to get my tickets way earlier this year because I messed up last year and got them a little too late. But I'm hoping that there's some fun stuff. You know why? Because I'm very excited for tomorrow because going to go see Ghostbusters. I'm just a huge Ghostbusters fan. I'm so hyped to go see that movie tomorrow. And also Jurassic Souls, you mentioned a few other things too. Where was it? I think it was you. Oh yeah. Hyped for Beetlejuice. Yeah. I hope we get that tomorrow too. I haven't really been on the internet, so I don't think I missed it, but like I don't think it happened yet. But the pictures that came out today of Beetlejuice, I was just like, yes. I put up a TikTok on my Instagram. What am I talking about? My TikTok, my personal one about that. I was so hyped to see that. So that was really, really cool. Yeah, and I'll be seeing Ghostbusters tomorrow, so I'm super hyped. Hopefully the Beetlejuice trailers before that. I just kind of need an outlet where I can talk all other movies too, all the time. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But I definitely want to talk some Jurassic topics here tonight. But let's take a quick little poll because I've got a bunch of Mattel toys to open up and a decent variation. Variation? Is that what I meant? Yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of different ones. So, I don't know. I got too much stuff on my desk. Let me just make some room. I don't want to start off like huge right away, but all right. Here's all the different things that I want to go through tonight and open up at some point while we're talking. Heck yeah, keep singing it. Keep singing the theme song. Yes, let's get it going. I feel like my music is like quieter than usual. I can't even hear it anymore. But all right, so this is what I want to potentially open up here tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look. So these are the things that I've got here. All right, we've got, what is this? It just says Velociraptor. Hilarious. It just says only Velociraptor. Containment Chaos Pack. Obviously, we've got Muldoon. We've got the containment pack there, the Raptor crate. Two park workers, which are super awesome to see, and a Velociraptor and a bunch of little junk there. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited to dive into that at some point. I also do have Metriacanthosaurus. Never opened this. Pretty, it's okay. It's an okay figure. Jurassic Park 30th anniversary figure, it says, because it's in that storage containment. Like, this looks like I feel like this is like a video screen. Like, it looks so legit right now. So we got Metriacanthosaurus. I want you to take a vote. What do you want me to open? Okay, so pay attention. All right. We also got this trike here, Triceratops. This white gray variant. Pretty cool. I dig it. And we've got, we've got more. We've got Carnotaurus. I have not opened the Carnotaurus yet. What am I doing? I've got the Carnotaurus here from the Hammond collection, ready to open that at some point. And I think I got one more for now. I probably have some other ones, but we've also got the Corythosaurus. So what should we open first? Let me know. What do you think we should open first? I want to go back and shout out some things here real quick in the chat. Jurassic Souls mentioned, what what do you think about the Mattel Diplodocus? Yeah, you know what? Let me bring up a picture of that. I think I can probably find that. I know Jurassic Outpost had shared that around a ton. So let me see if they still have it up. Well, stuff like that tends to be up for a little bit and then disappear. So we'll see if that's actually still up there. All right, it is still up there on their page. So let's take a quick look. Let's go here. Boom, Mattel. So here is this Diplodocus from Mattel. Is there more pictures? There we go. I mean, I feel like we saw this. Didn't we see? I never know if I saw something early or if it was actually on the internet. I think it was on the internet at one point, but I don't remember it looking anything like this. So I think this is a cool variation. It looks a bit different than I was, expecting. So I'm glad actually. It looks like its own thing. I believe this was the one that I was previously saying, it just kind of looks like different pieces that are scrapped together, like different sauropods that we already have, just kind of plug and play with let's put this head on this one and this neck on this head and this neck on this body. It just kind of looked like it was all over the place. So this to me looks pretty cool. I feel like the difference in color there in the center might be a picture issue. I think it is. Like some sort of weird filter or something. But the head, very drastic color change there. I don't really know what the deal is there. That's kind of interesting, but whatever. I'm down for it. It looks kind of cool. Oh, there was I never actually got the Mamenchisaurus. Did that come out? I think it did, right? I never actually got that one. I guess I must have passed on that one. I've got so many other things laying around here that I never actually got into that one. But yeah, I like it. I mean, I think it's cool. I like the little spiky, frilly parts that go down the neck, the bottom, or I guess it goes down the entire neck there from the head all the way across the back and down the tail. I think that's pretty cool. That looks nice. It looks like there's some decent detail. Oh, that's Scarlett Johansson's lips from Outpost. How did that pose get so small? What even just happened there? Where is it? Yeah, there's some decent detail, I think, down the tail and on the underside and on the neck. It makes it look at least a little unique. So whatever. I think that looks kind of cool. Yeah, maybe one day we'll take a closer look and compare it to other ones when we get some, legit pics and stuff like that. So I wonder, is that going to be one of the upcoming what do you call it? Beyond the Gates figures. And I think that's going to show up next week, right? Maybe not this, but Beyond the Gates is next week. So who knows what we have to look out for. But I know there's been a few figures like this that have been kind of leaked out early for some reason, whether it was this one. What was the other one that came out a little early? Oh, I don't remember. Oh, Therizinosaurus, maybe? Hammond collection. So, yeah, that one, whatever that one was, looked awesome, too. So, I think that looks pretty cool. So, thank you so much, Jurassic Souls, for shouting that one out. But, yeah, let's go ahead and dive into... yeah, look here. Jurassic KM says... Oops, I just disappeared. Hope you have a good time with Frozen Empire. Apparently, reviews aren't great. All reviews should be taken with a grain of salt until you see it yourself. I have to wait for Netflix or something. Yeah, look, I've heard, the reviews aren't great either, but I literally don't care about reviews. So many movies that I love are reviewed poorly, so I just don't care. I liked 2016 Ghostbusters. I like Ghostbusters 2. Those ones aren't looked upon very highly. I loved Afterlife, and I love the first one. So I'm all in for that. So it doesn't matter. I'm excited either way. Let's kick things off. I don't know. Nobody commented which one to open up. So I'm just gonna go ahead with the Metriacanthosaurus since it's right here. Ooh, that box art is pretty cool. I dig that. And like I said, this is on the back. It says, after shutting down Jurassic Park's security system, Dennis Nedry makes his way to the cold storage room and secretly steals the embryos of the Metriacanthosaurus as well as other dinosaur species. I probably should have got my knife. Let's see. Do I have something else? Oh, I have this one. Does this count? That's a little too big, maybe. Let's sheath that for now. I don't know. I think I got something around here. Maybe not. Let's see here. Let's just use this. Diving into Metriacanthosaurus. What you love its lore, hope to see it in the movies or shows one day. What's lore? Oh, the Metriacanthosaurus. Duh, obviously. Yeah, I do love when there's like things mentioned and alluded to. And, it's interesting that they save them for what would seem like for future use, and then sometimes we never get them. And this is one of those, right? I mean, we never actually got anything from this guy. Hold on, let me go grab my knife. I don't want to, like, bust any of this stuff, so I'll be right back. All right, here we go. And let me actually put this one up. I don't know if this is going to help or not. I might be zoomed. Let me see if I have a little zoom on here or not. All right, so I got the Metriacanthosaurus out. Here comes the tail. Field of view. Whoa, that's too close. No, I guess that was as far out as it goes. All right, so. All right, so let's stick with this view at least. All right, so we got some great noises here. I just cleaned up a bunch of other boxes from things that I've opened up recently, so it's about to get messy again in here. But we've got Metriacanthosaurus. Was it on Sorna? I don't know. Was it? That's a good question. I don't remember in particular if it was on Sorna or not. Make sure you put these in the correct way with the notch. Enhance. All right, so here we go. Wow, this thing is great. It's Hammond Collection Metriacanthosaurus. It looks like massive on the screen, but it's not super big, but that's pretty cool. I always have a little bit of issue with the Hammond Collection stuff. I feel like it's not always like super better than than the core stuff. Like, for instance, like the paint here, it's like it just kind of stops between. And it's just like, it's kind of like very softly painted on the feet and stuff. So At least the claws are painted. Is that the major upgrade of the Hammond collection? Most of the time, that's what it feels like. You can get a little bend out of the tail here, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I do like the feel of this tail. That's pretty cool. Always very careful to bend these things. But there we go. That's that. It's got a lot of articulation here on the head. And a lot of posability, so that's good. You know, the thing about like dinosaurs like this is I never know, like, how should I be posing them? Because we don't actually see this thing. Like, I forget, it might be in like Camp Cretaceous or something, you know, I don't remember exactly. But, you know, a lot of dinosaurs that are not like part of the films, I'm like, how is this supposed to, what am I supposed to do with it? Like, what pose is it supposed to be in? I'm not like a, you know, a dinosaur professional, so I don't really know, like, what's the best pose for a Metriacanthosaurus? But I feel like, I don't know, I let's get a pose like somewhere. I want to get the feet separated a little bit, so something like that might be good. And I kind of like a dipped down. Like, I love that dipped down approach where like a dinosaur seems to be getting its roar, you know, like it has to dig down deep to get that roar. So that's kind of like, I like a pose like this, I think. So maybe that's what I'll go for. Let's see if I can get, let's get a stand here on. Boom, just like that. There we go. So I gotta find a spot for that one on the shelf, but it's pretty good. Decent looking figure. Sure, it's probably old news at this point, but nonetheless. All right, so Jurassic KM clarifies, has not appeared on screen. Yeah, I forgot. Like, the only thing I was wondering is if it was in Camp Cretaceous, but I never saw it on screen in a film or anything. So glad to have you at least confirm that. Yeah, it's a decent looking one. I have no like urge to really like. I don't need to see this, you know, in a film or anything right now. I think there's other cooler, Metriacanthosaurus. I think there's other cooler looking dinosaurs that we could see. But yeah. Andy says the humans are the real win within the Hammond line. Oh, actually, I forgot. Let's hold on. Let me put this back up again. We've got one more. Let's go back over to this video. Oh, I forgot. I grabbed this the other day, Owen Grady. So let's dive into that one. Since you had said the humans are the real win with the Hammond line, so let's take a look. Let's actually see if that is true. Yeah, we're gonna wait more news for Jurassic because, like you said in this one here, good time to be a fan for sure of a lot of things. Ghostbusters. Yep, going to see it tomorrow. Godzilla, yeah, I'm going to see that next week. And Alien, you know, I watched the Alien trailer. It looks awesome. I'm not like a huge Alien franchise fan, so I don't know enough about it. But and then Acolyte trailer looked awesome. I'll definitely be talking about that on the Forcecast. But here we go. Here goes Owen Grady. You know, one thing that I was disappointed about this figure, and I think Blue might have done it as well, was the inclusion of just the weird render. And it's probably like, I don't remember. I'm sure the other ones kind of did the same thing on the side with their human counterparts. I don't remember, but it's kind of weird to just have this. You already have it right here. And we know who Owen Grady is. We don't need like a fake Chris Pratt blasted on the front. So it's weird. I don't really love that about this figure here, just having this big old toy render on the front. So, but yeah, and it says here on the back, as a Jurassic World dinosaur behavior expert specializing in training and research, Owen Grady bonds with a pack of velociraptors, in particular with Velociraptor Blue. However, this bond is put to the ultimate test when the Indominus Rex becomes loose on the island. Yeah, and that's a factor of Owen Grady that I feel like is always overlooked, is the fact that he is like a dinosaur behavioralist, a behavior expert, you know, somebody which we always associate him with like the military and being a very militaristic character. But I feel like the dinosaur behavior training and stuff like that, the expertise that comes with that field always gets overlooked for the characters. So I feel like most people tend to look at Owen Grady a little bit dumber than maybe he actually is. You know, he is potentially a smart guy who you know, I don't know, he just maybe doesn't come off that way because he's kind of a jokester and silly, but the fact that he does have a lot of training in this and is a big part of his backstory and history. So, you know, yes, it wasn't really shown or utilized, I guess, in many ways, other than just throwing his hands up in the air. But, you know, there was some slight training montages and things like that. But yeah, I certainly it could have been featured more, but I think that's definitely an aspect that we definitely feel like it. I feel like it's lacking at least. Jurassic KM says, yeah, the renders on the front are a little strange. Yeah, it's a weird thing for me. Andy says the same thing. Renders kind of weird. Yeah, he's literally Jurassic Indiana Jones. I feel like is that a dig or not? Oh, dig, pun not intended. But is that a dig or not? Because like Indiana Jones is awesome. So, but I feel like he's more so not exactly, but like he more so exhibits traits of like a Jason Bourne. But yeah, Indiana Jones does have that, obviously. But the thing about Indiana Jones is, you know, his character is grounded in his expertise, right? Like Owen is not necessarily grounded in his expertise. So Indiana Jones, we actually get to see him in school, in every film. We get to see, you know, him teaching, him using his skill and his brain to figure out these things. There's not necessarily a lot of moments where Owen has to use his training abilities in the field. Every now and then he has to put his hands up, but that's about it. Anyway, we do have Owen Grady here, so let's take a look. This figure actually looks really good. You know, with the amount of Owen Grady figures we have and how silly they kind of end up looking, this one kind of looks pretty good. And it's weird, though. I know we got a blue, but it's odd that this comes with Owen and not with blue. It reminds me kind of like a build a figure kind of thing where, like, you know, Indiana Jones sets did it where you would build like a, you know, actually this thing right here, like the skull, or the Ark of the Covenant. You know, it would come with like one piece at a time. So this one, which I got to get out. Since we're here, I gotta get this thing out because it's got like all of my spare parts for all my figures and stuff. So this will be good. I'll get to add in a handful of hands because look at that. You got a bunch of hands in this one here. So, and the unfortunate thing is I put them in there, but I don't know who they go to. Someday maybe I'll have to match them up and see, does this one work? We'll see. But what does he have to hold even? I mean, he's got... Which I feel like obviously I feel like the correct hands to put up are these ones that are on, or not on him, but in the box, because it is the, you know, these hands. And the heads look pretty good. I feel like the likeness is actually really good. But honestly, at this scale, like the head difference is just, I know you're not going to be able to pick it up very well. It's just not different enough. His mouth is like slightly opened in one. But that's about the difference. And maybe he looks a little angrier. But I'm going to pop off. Hopefully I can do that nice and easy here. Popped off one head. Oh, look at we got. Just like my old Owen figure over there. Which head did I want? Not that one. That was the one I just took off. Let's put on the semi-angry head. I should probably like heat this up, but whatever. All right, so that's on. And we'll try to pop off these hands. Put him on, and now he's got handless Owen. Put the correct hands on him here. All right, so now he's got his pose. Let's get him in like a kind of aggressive. We got to put his knife in his back pocket thingy. Let's go this way. There we go. So now he's got his knife back there. He's got his arms up, telling everybody to, whoa, hold on. I didn't get blue, so I have no raptor to pose him with. But there he is. There he is. And here is let's check out the scale. It's going to work on this dinosaur. Nope, didn't work. So that's 2 figures down, and then I'll go ahead and put these ones. Oh boy, almost just dropped everything. In here. The problem with like the Build-A-Figure set, you know, is that if you don't collect them all, you end up just having like, you know, like I just got some Terror Dog heads and like this guy, the Watcher's arm. I maybe have 2 arms. Is this also the Watcher's arm? I think. So you just end up having a few random things that like you can't ever connect to anything else. So, this Terror Dog has Gozer's hands taped to the back for some reason. Whatever. But let's go ahead and put the hands, Owen's hands in. There's also Gozer hands in here too. We've got a lot of Gozer hands around here. Since I don't have the blue figure, I'll go ahead and just throw this headpiece in. Let's put it in this thing. Because this will go in with like stuff like the binoculars that I have here, or the Barbasol can that's just in there. And then we also have Owen's head. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. I'll just throw Owen's head in with the other heads. It's actually, do I have a... Oh, you know what? I put the hands in the wrong spot. I have a small hands spot. So we should put them in with the small hands. Because there's small hands and then there's big hands. Do I have a small head spot? No, oh yeah, I do. I've got like the Amber Collection heads and then the Hammond Collection heads. This is Alan Grant's head here. So put Owen in there as well. And, I just must have dropped this sword. I don't know where this came from. I don't know. But, all right, so that's 2 figures down. Let's go ahead and open up this Triceratops. Daniel Kahn says, I can't read it. One character I would have loved to see Owen interact with would have been Robert Muldoon. Very different, but very similar at the same time. Mm-hmm. Look, I feel like they had like kind of like a similar knowledge base, right? Like we respect Muldoon's knowledge about the Raptors. I don't know if we necessarily have that same respect for Owen's knowledge about the Raptors, but you feel it from Muldoon. But at the same time, Muldoon is out there making mistakes, I feel like, and nobody's paying attention to that guy. Like, nobody takes him seriously either. I told you how many times we need locking mechanisms on the vehicle doors. So, like, even Hammond's not, like, taking him seriously. And then, instead of shooting a raptor, he's like, clever girl. I'm dead. It just like, he could have went, he knew the raptor was there. He just had to go, boom, goodbye, and I'm alive. But he's not. So anyway, we're opening up this Triceratops here, Epic Evolution. Might be my first Epic Evolution figure. And only? Yeah, I think so. I haven't really gotten a lot of like new core figures. So, but yeah, and actually I would have liked to have seen this kind of conversation as well. Not just from, oh yeah, you said Grant, my bad. Owen and Grant. That's what I was going to say, Owen and Grant. I thought you were talking about, or going to talk about Muldoon as well. But yeah, I really wish we could have saw like Owen and Grant talk a little bit about their experiences with raptors, head on, and how they handled, it would have been cool to see, like, which I kind of anticipated a lot going in. I anticipated a little bit of bickering between the two of them on the way to handle things. And I don't necessarily feel like we got that. I forget exactly, but I don't think we got that bickering between the two of them. It would have been cool to see kind of like the old school approach and the new school approach, where Owen is just kind of like, I've dealt with this every day of my life for the past few years, so let's go. Like, this is easy for me. And then it would have been fun to kind of see Grant be like, do you know what you're doing? Like, this is not how we deal with this. We got to go. Like, we can't just be doing this. So I would have loved to have seen like that kind of back and forth between those two characters. But like, as we all know, Dominion was super filled to capacity with so many different other things. So anyway, opened it up. That was super easy. There was just two ropes here, two little wires. And here it is. Pretty cool looking figure, at least. I have not been a huge fan of Triceratops figures over the years. I mean, dating back to 1993, like, I really love, I know you can't really see it, but it is back here where this tail is pointing back behind the T-Rex. And but I love the old school Triceratops, and I don't have the Habitat Defender one. I really got to get that at some point, but I don't have that one yet. I know it keeps kind of going on sale here and there, and that is a pretty big figure, but I don't have it. So this is Triceratops. I do have. Do I have any other ones out? I have like the Chasmosaurus. Is that how you say that? I don't remember. I really like the Packy Rhino. And then the Pseudoceratops, pretty cool. Triceratops ones were always underwhelming to me, though. And this one actually is pretty cool. I feel like it looks a lot cooler. It doesn't look just like, I don't know. It just kind of looks, they all looked kind of just generic. But this one actually looks like super detailed, and the sculpt is really awesome on here. And I like the color. The color is pretty cool and different, I think, for what we used to get with a lot of Triceratopses. I think there is a gray, there might be a gray one at some point. I have all the other Triceratops just in a bin somewhere in the other room with the kids play with it or whatever. But I think this one's pretty cool. And I do, one thing I always kind of shrug off is the playability features on the lines as they've continued on. I've kind of like, I think there was, I don't know what point it was, but I kind of got off board with a lot of the different figures because I thought the playability features were kind of a little weird. But I gotta say, this one is actually pretty cool. Like, I love this like rotating, just whatever this is, just this little dial that you can kind of go back and forth, and it does all the different features here. And this ramming feature is kind of cool, actually. So I'm definitely into this. I think this is pretty cool, and it actually I like this like rigid quality that it's giving this figure. It's pretty cool. With the head going out, the neck pops out, and the head like kind of goes down, and it just snaps back into place. So this is actually pretty cool for playability. I don't know, like I can't say for sure if this would like hold up. It doesn't feel like it would hold up to any kind of like smashing and like ramming into vehicles like the old trike did, but who knows. It also does have this kind of cool feature, which is kind of decent. Just puts the spikes up and down, up and down. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I prefer Jurassic Park 3 or Jurassic World Dominion? A very easy question, but Jurassic World Dominion by far, not even close. Tac Mac, not even close. JV Travels, what's up? How you doing? Habitat Defender trike is so good, easily the best trike. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I just haven't gotten it yet. Maybe one day. I slowed down so much on getting figures and then never went ahead and opened so many of them. Let's go with the Cretaceous. Speaking of Jurassic Park 3. No, but I definitely like Dominion far more than Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3, yes, it has some really awesome things that I love about that movie, but it just I still don't fully connect with it as a great movie or anything. And I really love Dominion, so whatever. But I feel like Jurassic Park 3 has a lot of issues for me. Cretaceous. With a defining duckbill and a head crest, the Cretaceous stampedes onto the scene as Dr. Alan Grant and Paul and Amanda Kirby desperately flee from the Velociraptors on Isla Sorna. And there it shows that scene right there, where they kind of blend in with Parasaurolophus, Cretaceous. They're all kind of running all together, and then we do get the raptors running through as well later on. But cool figure. You got the render right there on the side. No render on the front, which I do like. It's just such a classic looking box. I don't feel like you need to mess that up. They do it with the, which we'll look at in a second here, but they do it with the Carnotaurus. But here we go. Cretaceous in the plastic. Are there any little ropes? Yes, there are. One down. This is always a dangerous feat to attempt. Whether you scratch your figure or cut yourself, you never know what's gonna happen. Take the tail out. Figures out. Cretaceous. Tail in. There we go. This is a pretty cool looking figure. Oh, this leg is like really straight. How do we make this better? There we go. I'm always so afraid when it comes to moving the legs of these figures. But that's a nice looking figure. Got some little bit of articulation here on the mouth. The tail does bend. And this one does line up much better on the tail. Like it actually blends well, and it looks like the pieces like over here on this this side, like it actually blends super well right here. There's no gap. Like if it was just this major gap here, I would have said something like it did on the Metriacanthosaurus, but here's that one for scale. Similar size. Was this the skin that it had in JP3? I mean, as far as the the box art kind of shows, generally, it's fairly close. It's not perfect, but maybe it was a little bit darker on screen, but it's close enough. But the thing is, it's not like an upscale figure, right? It's not the upscale figure that we think it necessarily is, because it's more expensive than the core stuff, but it's not like high end. It's not even like a NECA, price tag or anything like that. That's I mean, sometimes they feel pretty hefty, but generally I feel like they're not as bad as we think. But it looks good. It looks good, but it's like nothing to write home about. It's nothing like super iconic or perfectly rendered from the film or anything like that. So, but I think it looks pretty good. I kind of like this, like, just kind of like lazy pose. He's just kind of got his neck up just a little bit, tail down. I don't know what to do with the arms. Like, should the arms be back a little bit? And that kind of looks a little silly, or should they be a little forward? How about we'll go like kind of half and half? And make the figures brighter to pop on the shelves. Maybe. I mean, look, so far, this one, pretty bright. This one, pretty bright. This one, very bright. But yeah, I mean, definitely, like, when you look at like this one, it doesn't necessarily pop as well. I mean, that's why they're throwing this guy up there, because that pops, but this does not in here as well. It's kind of dark in there when it's on a shelf, or even if you're just looking at it, it kind of, as long as you got it on the right light, but otherwise it's kind of dark in there. But yeah, maybe. I think they try to generally get them as close as they can, but I kind of expect more from the paint jobs, because to me, like, it doesn't look any different than like, like this whatever this is, the Diplodocus. Like, the paint job doesn't look any better necessarily, outside of like the claws are painted on the Hammond collection, and the articulation's a little better or whatever, and the heft of the figure, sure, but like, other than that, it doesn't like look like it's a better figure, from the outside. So I don't know. But let's go to this one real quick here. We've got these, which I've been really excited to open these ones. So this is that Containment Chaos Pack. Let's go ahead and find, is there any tape or anything? No. So let's just bust it open. It's just ripping it straight up. So most of the containment unit isn't actually right there. It's just behind it. All right, so let's put that off to the side for a second. But there's so many things in this pack. Let's go to Velociraptor real quick. Fine, standard. It is what it is. I've got like 1,000 of these, I feel like. And again, unpainted claws, but the paint job's fine. It looks fine. Yeah, whatever. We've got Muldoon. Just another kind of silly-faced Robert Muldoon, not the great-looking version we have from the Hammond collection. And we do got some park workers. Can't get them out. Let's pry them out with a knife. All right, so we got park worker number 1 here. And they do have a vest. Hey, Dinosaur. I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. How are you doing? Just hanging out, opening up some toys. I've just had so many of these things sitting around for so long that I wanted to open them up. But we've got a vest here that, let's see. Let's put it on this guy. I should have kept my eyes out. I don't know. I don't think this was on the shelves anymore, but to be able to have like a bunch of these park workers and different variations, like switching heads, maybe with some older figures or something, vests, no vests, different weapons. It would have been pretty cool to have like a ton of variants of these figures, because like these are the things that I like to have almost like some of the most is things to build out your world. Like park workers, like different vehicles and things, and fences and gates and things. Like, I think that's pretty cool. So we've got this guy with his vest on, which is awesome. And we'll give this guy, I guess, this shock stick. A little bit of bend in his arms. It's a cool looking figure, though. It's always so difficult to try to pose these things. So Jurassic KM, this set never made it to Canada, huh? That stinks. Sorry to hear that. All right, so again, this is just a core figure, so it doesn't really pose all that crazy or anything. So you can only do with what you got, you know? So you wouldn't really do that as this park where you wouldn't just like hold this massive shock stick thing out like that one-handed, but that's that. We've got another figure here. And this guy, we'll also give him a vest, I guess. Why not? Should we go vest or no vest? I don't know. I'll give him a vest. It looks kind of cool. But this is another worker here. We'll give him like a radio and a flashlight, I guess. Is there a spot or anything for these radios, like to plug them in or anything on his body? No, it doesn't look like it. No pouches or anything to hold it. There might be, actually, yeah. Yeah, it looks like... Looks like there might be a spot for it. Oh, there's also knee pads. So, like, we'll give one of these guys knee pads, I guess? That's kind of weird. Megan here says, my son's 10th birthday is coming up soon. He's a big fan of JP. He loves both Blue and Rexy equally. So, which toy would you recommend I buy him? That's a good question. I feel like a Hammond collection figure is like kind of like a safe bet right now. I don't know if you can grab like this one. I feel like this one is just like excellent, and I know it's not any of the ones you mentioned, but this Carnotaurus is excellent, and to be able to have something like that would be really cool. And I don't know if your son wants to is going to be playing with these versus displaying them or anything. I don't know, but what else is out there right now? Personally, I think like if you liked Rexy, I would go for like the 93 collection, and it's Rexy kind of, but not exactly. There is this pouch here on the back, but like why would you put a radio on your back? Would you? I don't know, I guess. I'll put it back there. It just feels weird. But if you like go to, let me see if I can bring it up. I don't know if it's on there even. Let's go to Jurassic World over on Target. Oh, it didn't bring me to the right section. Oh, that's fine. We'll go here. But, you know, like this figure here, I think is pretty awesome. This real feel T-Rex. Awesome figure. And it's a retro figure, you know, it throws it back to like my childhood when I had this figure. It's right behind me still, the original. But like this figure now, it's super awesome. Decent sized figure. Love the colors, the playability, everything, you know, is really, really cool with this figure. So I think that one's a pretty decent get. But I mean, there's so many good ones to even go for. These ones, like the long neck ones, are awesome. I love having those. Therizinosaurus, like this one right here, is awesome. A super cool figure. But again, here's that Carnotaurus. Great figure. Let's see what else I got here. So I just saw these ones are on clearance right now, so you can pick those up really cheap. But yeah, I feel like that's a good sampling at least. Like to me, I would go for either the Carnotaurus or the Red Rex. I think those are pretty good options for a kid right now. Or even, I don't know, like what he feels about the super colossal line. The super colossals are awesome. They're like huge, like very, very big figures. I don't think I have anything right here. No, I've got them all in the other room, but they are honestly like this big. They're massive. You can fit toys inside the mouth and in the stomach and get the toys out of the stomach. Those ones are really awesome. So I would suggest that too. You can get things like Blue and Rexy as well in those. And there's a lot of other ones. I think the Indoraptor might be out right now. But yeah, so if you're thinking more just along the lines of Rexy, I mean, honestly, like the Super Colossal T-Rex is one of the coolest figures. And that was like from the original 2018 variation of figures. So I don't know how easy that is to find these days. But that one is awesome. It's just massive. Or that red one, which is just Rexy in classic form. So, but yeah, I think those are probably pretty good options at least. So they're some of my favorites at least. And then this guy, here we go. I just put knee pads on him, and he's got this flashlight. And let me put the walkie-talkie in his hand. I feel like, I don't know if I can, but it's going to be difficult. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Pretty cool. Come in. We got a dinosaur loose. Put that guy there. And then we also have, there is like a Muldoon shotgun in here. Oh, which just hit me and then disappeared. And we also got this crate here, which we also got these too. So many pieces in this. How am I going to be able to figure this out? I think there's directions, but do I need directions? Yes, probably. Let's see. We've got a lot of different pieces here. Which one's A? This looks like a ground, but also maybe a roof. I don't know. That says E and F. So this is A and B. So this is the roof. And then we've got the sides, which go this way. Somehow. I don't know. Do they go this way? No, it goes this way. That's why it didn't look like it fit. Yeah, Jurassic Cam says, if you can find the Dominion version of the Super Colossal T-Rex, it has a color scheme that resembles how closely she looks in the movies versus the older ones. Yeah, you know, I actually forgot that there was another variation of this Super Colossal Rex from that era. And yeah, they're 3.5 feet long. Let me see if Super, I can't type on this thing because there's too many dinosaur toys. Super Colossal. No, there's only the Indoraptor on there right now, and it's just these massive boxes. Are there any other pictures? Nothing very good for scale, but yeah, I mean, kind of. You can see in this picture here, shows you like how big it actually is. It's huge. So these figures are pretty awesome. There's a lot of them. Maybe you can track it down somewhere online, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. TacMac says, random question, but which would win, Indoraptor versus Scorpius Rex? Indoraptor versus Scorpius Rex. I mean, the Indoraptor is supposed to be like the idealized version, of the Scorpius Rex. So I would want to pick that one, but I also think like the Scorpius is just so wild and chaotic that like I kind of would want to pick that to win just because it's such a wild creature. Is there a certain way that this goes? Wait, does it go this way? It's gotta be this way. There we go. I feel like the Scorpius would be a good pick just because it's crazy, it's wild. So I don't know, but the Indoraptor is certainly the more proficient one. It should be the one to win in any kind of fight, but like I don't want to bet against the Scorpius. That's the problem. I feel like the Scorpius, it's just got a factor in it that's like kind of unknown. And there we go. Built it. Pretty awesome. This is so fantastic. And again, I wish I had more of these sets to get more park workers and more of these crates, but they were kind of expensive at the time, so I think I picked this one up on clearance, but that's awesome. That is so cool. Like I wish we got like tons of stuff like this as a kid, but man, this is very awesome. The first scene you see in Jurassic Park, you've got a toy for it. That is awesome. So yeah, and there was no extra pieces or anything. It was all, except for that shotgun, which I don't know where it went, but yeah, everything is, got a hand to put it in, or, everything goes together, so that's really cool. But I do have, so many Muldoons now, but I'll gladly put these park workers up on my shelf. And Muldoon will go probably in the box for the kids to play with. But we have one more figure to get through here, so we might as well go ahead. We've got this one here, the Carnotaurus, which again has the render here on the front. This render looks way cooler though, to be honest, so I'm not super mad about this one being on the front. But like, let's see, where's let's see the Metriacanthosaurus box, for instance. It's a little smaller, but I just wanted to kind of like compare the classic vibe of the Metriacanthosaurus one. It's got the Hammond Collection logo there, the 30th anniversary logo, and the big T-Rex head. This one, tiny Hammond Collection logo. I really like the bigger one, to be honest. And tiny or smaller T-Rex head, but this one has a circle. Or which one? This one has a circle. I can't ever tell which direction things are when I'm watching in the video. So it's a little different, and even the top has circle versus no circle on here. So it's a little different variant there. I prefer the smaller one, to be honest, that look of it. But, I'm not mad per se. I think this render looks better than the human renders. And we've got a picture of the actual toy, it looks like, right here. Yeah, this definitely is a render. I'm pretty sure it's a render. It might be the toy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a render. Maybe it is a toy. But it's hard to tell. Well, yeah, this one says, Carnotaurus. As Claire Dearing, Owen Grady, and Franklin Webb attempt to flee from the erupting volcano on Isla Nublar, the menacing Carnotaurus erupts their plans and stops them in their tracks while the gyrosphere offers some protection. It's the surprise appearance of the Tyrannosaurus Rex that ultimately allows them to escape. Yeah, and what does it say? Does it say Fallen Kingdom on the side? It does say Fallen Kingdom right there. Yeah, no, not Toro, just Fallen Kingdom Carnotaurus that we saw in the movie. So let's go ahead and open this. This has been a long time coming. I've been really wanting to open this one up, but it's just been sitting there and I like never got around to it. So here we go. Ah, man, this is a great looking figure. Got a bunch of wire tie things here. Try not to let this thing hit me in the face. Ah. Bunch down here on the bottom. And then like an actual tied one, which is annoying. Let's see if I don't think I can cut through this one now. Let's go ahead and untie it down on the bottom. It's a pain to open up. As far as legacy sets and figures, I still need a Dennis Nedry and Jeep set, the Isla Nublar Escape set, and the 3 of the 4 legacy main figures, Ian, Grant, and Muldoon. I have the rest of them. Yeah, honestly, I've lost track of like what I do and don't have anymore. Like half the time I'm in the store and I'm like, do I have that? I don't even know. But like the other day I did it with the Ian Malcolm Lost World set with the Mercedes and everything. I was like, do I have this? I forget. I don't remember. Which I don't have it, but I did question whether or not I did. And this figure is awesome. Feels a little like hollowy, like kind of, I don't know if I want to say cheap, but not as like hefty as I would have thought. Is there a certain way for this one? I don't know. We'll just pop it in there. But this is a pretty big figure, Hammond collection. Again, here is the Metriacanthosaurus, and you can tell way bigger Carnotaurus. I love this. The look of this thing, like it looked super awesome in the film Fallen Kingdom, and this is just such an awesome design. I really like the classic look of the original Carnotaurus figure, which I probably have, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I put it away. Oh no, it is back there, but it's got this very like upright pose, and it's really cool. But this one's pretty awesome. Dark. I love the dark color of it. It's just so menacing. That is cool. What is that noise? Oh, I was on the mouse or on the keyboard. I don't know if you could even hear that noise, but it was just like. Anyway, here it is. Pretty awesome figure. It's got the glass eyes, yeah. Which is a weird one, but whatever. Sometimes like you just can't even see the eyeball itself. Like you just see yellow, which is kind of weird. But that is what it is. But this is an awesome figure. So, where's Owen? Can Owen stop the Carnotaurus? No. So that's that. That is all of the figures that we opened up tonight. I'm excited. Like, this is exciting to me. To be able to at least talk with you guys a little bit about Jurassic and open up some, like a backlog of figures that I've just had sitting. I do still have a whole box full of unopened things that are like just from the past that I don't even know when I'll open those, if ever. I do have a lot of Indiana Jones stuff. Actually, there is one other. Yeah, there is one other figure. Let me go grab it. I got one more thing to open, I think. I forgot there's one more. Let's go here real quick. Be right back. All right, we got this one. I totally forgot about this. Isla Sorna Expedition Pack. We got one more to open up. Core line. Got a lot of compies up here. Oh, tiny compies. We've got Dieter Stark. Come on. And his cattle prod thing here. And then we've also got, let's see. Oh, this is so annoying. These are not just like tied. They're like, I don't even know what you call these things. There's so many of these little straps on there. I need like scissors. I don't think I have any scissors in here. I used to have scissors. I don't know what happened to them. Oh. Let's open up the rest of this thing. Because you have to use the bottom to get the truck out. Ah! There goes my containment. Tape, tape, tape everywhere. These are little twisty guys. Ah! Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to. Maybe. Probably gonna ruin the truck with this. It's a pain in the butt. They tie these things so tight. Zip ties just all over this thing. Ah! It's like, hey kids, you want to play with this? No, not tonight. We got too many zip ties to open up. Sorry. One more. Ah! I didn't get it. This is a tough one. I don't want to bust it. Whoa, there we go. It just shot across the room. All right, one raptor with the code thing in the back. An orange raptor. It's cool. Yeah, whatever. And we've got this cool truck. It's got like a lift. Doors open up. This is a pretty cool truck, to be honest. I'm a little, I think the wheels are a little silly looking. Oh, we got this thing on the bottom. Take these off. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm down with it. I like that, you know, it's got the InGen logos on it. It's very much a Lost World style truck, you know, straight out of the movie. So that's pretty awesome. I dig that a lot. The back comes down. There's no way a raptor can get out of this. No way. Not possible. And we also, like I said, have Dieter Stark here, which this is like a core line Dieter Stark, but man, like this likeness is awesome. Like it looks great. And I can't zoom. Can I, let's see if I can do this one. Boom. It looks great. I think it looks awesome. So he has also got his little cattle prod thing. So we'll bend his arms a little bit. Stick this thing in there. There we go. Do I buy two, open one to open, one to keep in the package? I open up mostly everything, but there are some toys I buy two of to open one up. Easy to do with Hot Wheels, but costly. Yeah, for sure. Costly if you're doing any kind of Jurassic stuff for the most part. I do have like a few duplicates for Jurassic, but not a ton, to be honest. When it comes to toys, I open them up like as long as I can find the time. But like I'll open them up. I'm not like, I don't really need to keep a ton of things in boxes. I have a few here and there in this room that are still in boxes, but for the most part, everything gets opened up. I put everything out on the shelves everywhere, wherever I can. So for the most part, everything's opened up, but this is a cool figure. And plus you can put the compy on there, get them attacking them. There's two other compies, but I've got tons of these compies all over the house because they used to come in like every figure, it felt like. So, but that's it. That's all we got. Throw an extra compy in here, maybe. wire ties all over the place. We got figures everywhere. So now I got to clean up the rest of this room. But yeah, I appreciate everybody sticking around and hanging out for a little bit, talking about some Jurassic, bringing up some topics. TacMac says, I wanted to talk about this. I meant to mention it before, but since we're on the topic of Fallen Kingdom, what are your thoughts on the film, specifically the second half? Because I know it's got mixed reviews. I love the film. I love all of the films. So I really, really love Fallen Kingdom, like a lot. It's one of my favorite ones. Oh, the comment went away. But I specifically love the second half. I think the second half is awesome. Like I love the horror vibes. I'm a big fan of horror stuff, and I love that it kind of tries to replicate like old school horror films and Nosferatu, and even the Indoraptor is, all these things are kind of like Frankenstein-esque and stuff. So there's a lot, and the Wolfman howling at the moon, the Indoraptor. There's so many like allusions to old school horror stuff in that second half. I love that it's like basically just a big haunted house movie at the end. I think it's really, really awesome. So some of my favorite stuff comes out of the movie. The score is incredible. But yeah, I know people are mixed on it, but like I just love it because that movie specifically it just feels like a movie that I would have thought up in my head as like a 10-year-old, like playing with these toys, that I would have gotten in 1990, whatever, 1995, I guess. So I would have made up a scenario of a volcano going off at the park and everybody's got to escape and there's only one way out and some dinosaurs aren't going to make it and people aren't going to make it off. So it would have been exactly that kind of story. And then like the haunted house aspect of it just was incredible. So I feel like that movie is just like toys come to life. And to me, I think that's why I've really embraced the World trilogy, because yes, it's absurd at times and does some silly things, but I think that's kind of what I wanted to see, was some absurdities. And they've strayed their course from what Jurassic Park kind of was, but everybody, which I really want to do like a full topic on this one day, but I think retroactively people look at the first two movies specifically as if they were like devoid of comedy in any way and devoid of any kind of humor or fun. And the way I hear people talk about the first two movies is that they were just purely scientific and real and serious. And yes, they were, but there was so much fun and comedy in those first two movies that I think people overlooked that a lot. And when I went to go see it recently for, what do you call it? The orchestra. I got to see the orchestra play with the film. I saw it with an audience that felt like they were a little bit older than I expected. Maybe it was due to a lot of people like have like a subscription-based thing when it comes to different theaters and stuff that have orchestras go to them. So, I think the general audience was a little bit different than I was expecting, and they were laughing at so much in Jurassic Park that I just didn't expect. So I think people underestimate how funny those movies are. So, yeah, I'm down with whatever this franchise wants to do, silly stuff, everything involved. I'm cool with it. So, Daniel says, am I the only one who thinks Fallen Kingdom should have been the last movie? Just because I feel like that film was more of an ending to an era and a beginning of a new type of film. Yeah, I mean, look, even they marketed, or not even marketed, but they talked about Dominion as the start of a new era. So that movie was the start of the new era. So yeah, in the way that you're kind of saying, like, it kind of was the ending of one. But I don't know. I think there's so many ways you could look at the World franchise. And if you didn't listen to last week, we did a whole, like, how could we have, like, fixed it and the trajectory of it? And there's a lot of ways. The one idea we came up with last week, I think, was really cool, about tying everything together much more, proficiently. But I think there's ways to repurpose these movies. I honestly think, like, Jurassic World could have came second. and maybe you could have ended on Fallen Kingdom. But I think I talked about it a long time ago on the Jurassic Mailbag. So there's some old episode out there of the Mailbag where myself and Jen talked about a version of the World trilogy or just Jurassic World where, like, things went south in the first film, but the park didn't end up having to close and nobody really knew about the problems. Like, I think that would have been a really fun movie to see. You could have had a full trilogy of just Jurassic World operating even, a movie where something goes awry, like say the Indominus escapes in the first movie or some other dinosaur. You could have led to the Indominus even. You could have had just like a Carnotaurus escapes and they have to deal with it behind the scenes and not let people know. Like, they could have had like there was an episode of the Lego TV series or something, I think, where Ian Malcolm actually showed up to the island for like some sort of tour or something. But you could have had something like that where kind of replicated Jurassic Park in a way where, you've got Hammond needing people to sign off on his island, and you've got the lawyer and supporting the investors and things like that. So you could have had somebody come to the park and, like, you kind of had to skirt around this like these people that are maybe touring the island, and you don't want them to see this devastation that's happening, and you certainly don't want the guests to find out. So there could have been a cool way to do a movie where you tried to keep it as top secret as possible, but things were getting out of hand, and ultimately they win, and they they just brush it off, and they're like, okay, good, we escaped that little tragedy. Nothing bad actually happened. And then, like, a second movie, maybe you could have led into the hybrid stuff, and then, you got the Indominus. But I think it would have been interesting to have, like, the island be operational, and the warnings for the volcano be ever present, but the people at the park maybe ignore that. I think that would have been a cool way to do it, where, like, there's geologists on the island that say, like, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be very bad. And then Mizrani or whoever being like, no, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep it operational. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We have a big presentation coming up, where we're getting funding in the next few weeks or whatever, and we need to hit this date. Otherwise, we're gonna crumble. We're gonna go under. We're not gonna be able to pay for something or whatever. I don't know. But I think it would have been fun to, like, push the buttons there and then have the island explode, and dealing with that outcome would have been pretty cool. To see how would they do that with a functioning park. Would have been chaotic as all heck. And then, yeah, I don't know what would have been a third movie at that point, but you just ordered an $80 T-Rex from Amazon. Your son better love it. You can blame me. I'm sorry if it doesn't work out. But I think it will. Which, did you end up getting a Super Colossal? I hope so, because that one's pretty cool. If you didn't, there's so many other ones too. So, and Jason likes all 6 movies in order of their release as far as enjoyment, specifically memories attached. Okay. Yeah, no, for me, memories attached specifically, like, Jurassic Park 3 is last, because, like, I remember seeing that movie and just being so disappointed with it back in 2001. And for me, it's a very, I think, I'm not sure if I've fully settled on my numbers, but it's like 1 and 2 are interchangeable for me. Like, they go back and forth between the first and second movie. 3, I think could be Dominion, but it also could be Fallen Kingdom. So I think maybe those two could flip flop as well. So that's 4. What else is there? How many are there? 6. 1 and 2. Oh, so we get Jurassic World. After that would be 5, and then 6 would be Jurassic Park 3. So interesting order for sure, but that's the way I like these movies. So that's my choice, at least. But yeah, I think we had a good time tonight. That was fun. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up because we're going on for quite a while here. Are we still even live? Like, I hit all the images there on my end, but all right. So please go find me all over the interwebs here. But yeah, you can check me out over on. Let's see, Grim Grinning Hosts. I'm talking about Disney over there and Horror Nights and other things, Star Tours, Pandora, Disneyland. We talk about all kinds of theme park stuff and film stuff. We might do a Ghostbusters review over on that channel. And then you might have to stay tuned actually in the next week or so. We hopefully should have like a Godzilla X Kong. Yeah, is that what it's called? Godzilla X Kong New Empire review here on this podcast. Check it out on a Forcecast as well. I have an episode Star Wars on the big screen. I'm on that with Ryan, and we talk about the upcoming Star Wars movies. Might be on that one as well. Another episode soon. But lastly, check out the Jurassic Park podcast. But you know what that is. You know what that is. I am on Letterboxd. You check me out over on Letterboxd. That's where I do a lot of stuff. I hang out there quite often, watching movies, logging them, reviewing them. If you don't know what Letterboxd is, if you watch a lot of movies and watch a lot of things, like rating them, like having stats about your movies, go check out Letterboxd. I'm on there. Just look for Brad Jost on there. On TikTok, Brad Jost. Threads, Brad M. Jost. I'm on Threads quite often too. Not on Twitter. I'm on Facebook every now and then. But yeah, you can check out the podcast all over the place. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts isn't a thing anymore. But we're on Audible, Amazon, all kinds of places. And of course, Threads as well, Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. But that's it. That about does it for the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. We'll be back next week. We'll be talking about Beyond the Gates, whatever the next episode is. I'm excited to do that next time on the live stream. I don't know. I don't think we're going to have another episode. So we're it's like a impromptu hiatus for the podcast feed. Maybe we'll have something out there depending on if there's news or anything else. But taking a little break on the actual podcast, but we're still here on the live stream for a little bit. So thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for supporting us. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.